Daniel Farrugia, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Thanks for joining us from Harcourts in Dandenong, Victoria, mate. Really appreciate you attending our little interview process that we have here. So, Daniel, tell us about yourself and how long have you been in real estate?
So I've been in real estate for 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
And what did you do before that?
I've done door-to-door sales for 7 years before that,
Selling.
selling changeover of electricity and gas.
So a great grounding for real estate, selling door to door. And I suppose that was so at what point did you say, hey, shit, if I'm selling, cheap items, I can be selling expensive items on the doors. So tell us that mindset change and how you got into real estate.
I pretty much just had enough of trying to build teams and going through different offices, and then just wanted to have something where I could just rely on myself rather than relying on other people to make sales themselves to make me
Yes.
money, and just get back to relying on myself and back myself to do sales. And I knew somebody who is now my business partner. There was in real estate before, and he was doing pretty well out of it. And just contacted him, and he said, "Yeah, great. Let's have a chat."
And how long have you owned the office together with your business partner for?
We're coming up on 4.5 years now.
Okay. All right. And how did that go? How did that first 4.5 years of business ownership go?
First couple of years was a little bit tough, and then it started to get good again, and then the market changed and went down a bit, but that was good overall for business in the long run, because cleared out a few of the older agents around the area. And then once that was over, we started going well again, and then COVID comes and we go up and down along the COVID journey.
Yeah. No, COVID has been, and you're in lockdown now. So that's, and I think this is the fifth time that you've been in lockdown.
Yeah, fifth time. It makes it easier for these interviews because don't have as many calls coming
in. But you've taken full advantage of the lockdowns. I know your numbers have just skyrocketed in the last 6 months since we've been working together. So obviously, let's have a look at why you joined Real Estate Brilliance, and what challenges were you facing before you joined?
Just a little bit stuck overall in regards to I could only do so much by myself. And I just needed some guidance in regards to how I could get some other people around me and start concentrating on doing more listings, and step away a little bit from the sales side, but obviously still have to go and deal with buyers and sell property, but just give me that bit of support on the side that could help me out.
Yeah. So obviously you were gridlocked being a principal of an office, doing the buyer side of the business, the prospecting, the listing, and I would imagine that you've got pretty good admin support. But yeah, I mean, I remember you were just flat out saying, mate, I need to learn how to build that effective business unit or that pod system to free me up. And you've done that very successfully. So you've hired Rav as your buyer manager, and I know that's still. I think you did that probably in the last 3-4 months. I think it is.
Yeah, it's start of the year.
Start of the year. So yeah. So good 7 months. So and how's Rav going?
Going good. He each day that passes, he learns more and more. And
yes.
Obviously there's little bumps there all the time with some of the contracts and things like that, and making sure it's done right. But overall really good, and he's pumped about becoming an agent himself eventually.
So it's a good breeding ground then for your office for salespeople. So it's a good nursery as well, because if Rav's good enough as a buyer manager and as a lead generator eventually, and then a lister, well, then you've created a self-supporting salesperson, haven't you?
Yeah. So I think that's kind of how we want to continue,
plan.
kind of structure it a little bit from now.
That's what we spoke about early on. And then you can bring in the next person and do the same with them,
Yeah.
which is great for principals. It's a great learning ground. Now, 2019, 20, just before you joined us, you sold 52 properties. Last financial year, 2021, with COVID and all the crap that went down, even though we have had a few spikes, sold over 80 properties, which I think is outstanding, mate. So huge kudos and congratulations to you there. That's amazing. So obviously what you've done with Real Estate Brilliance, with RAV, with the systems, the structures is working. I dare say that 100 sales for you is going to be, the next sort of step. But would you agree that that's really made some massive changes in your business?
Yeah, so it seems to have at least doubled the amount of listings we have coming in per month at the moment.
Wow,
so,
that's amazing.
Yeah, so I think for this full year, not financial, we should be able to crack over 100. So
yeah, mate, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Direction.
And how are you going with first of all with the business side of things? Because I know we've been working on trying to get you to hand over a lot of that as well, because you're too valuable now to be doing a great deal in the office, other than be there for the salespeople and your business partner and a few bits and pieces.
Yeah, so we've subcontracted the trust accounting out now.
Great.
So which has been really good.
Yeah.
And now we've got an admin manager who's now concentrating on the admin. We're moving. We concentrated on at the start of getting the sales people to do all their own uploads and organizing photos and booking brochures and all that side of it. So now we're moving them, now getting the reception to start doing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that just alleviating all these little tasks that need to be done off the sales guys, including myself, so that everyone can get back and concentrate on what they're good at. So
exactly. Now, obviously, since you've been with me, which is nearly a year, how's that flowed on? Because you're doing so much better and so much more focused, a bit more structured, a bit more specialized in what you do. How's that filtered out to the salespeople? Has it?
Well, I guess we always were taught to lead people. You got to pull them along rather than push them. So, yeah. And if I'm the one doing plenty of listings and sales, then there's no excuses for them. Where if I'm not doing it, well, there's plenty of excuses for everybody. So
exactly.
And more now still leading from the front, but again, it's pulling up more guys that they feel they can do more as well.
Wow, that's awesome, mate. Congratulations on that. And so tell me about your lifestyle now. I know it's been in and out of lockdown, and it's given you a great opportunity. What has been your biggest task or your biggest activity in the 5 lockdowns?
Well, lately it's now learning to ride my motorbike.
Okay.
So that's been my task for now, to while the roads are a little bit quieter, I can get out and about and do that, and
awesome.
Do my little bits of appointments on that, trying to make it a little bit more interesting than just jumping in the car like I would before.
Brilliant.
But from a business point of view, again, just staying on top of my database, getting in contact with my database contacts, making sure I've got emails for them, and just getting on top of the little bits and pieces that sometimes get lost when we're busy. So booking reviews, getting reviews in for Rate My Agents or realestate.com now, because there are a lot of calls these days coming in from people checking reviews out on agents. So
yeah, true. And have you managed to find some work-life balance through building more structure and getting RAV on board?
Yeah, it's freed me up a lot more. Means I can get home at now sometimes more reasonable hours, at least a few nights a week, rather than having every night of the week booked up till 8 o'clock and constantly working.
Is wifey happy with you?
Yeah, there's always things she'll get me to do though. So
and the kids, mate, you're getting a bit of time with the kids as well, which is
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I
So
suppose
don't hold
lockdown
me
has
back.
brought around a bit of time for family, which is lovely as well.
Yeah, so it's been good. At least I can
Yeah.
spend a bit more time with them where I wouldn't have had the chance. So
Yeah, mate, you've been an inspiration to a lot of our members because obviously you've had an incredible restraints put on you with COVID and lockdowns, but you're probably one of the best performers in our membership, even with those handicaps that you've had. So, what top tips would you? Let's focus with you, who's a selling principal, has a family. What top tips would you give to other selling principals out there to have a better to do better in their own businesses within the business, to have a better overall business and to have a better balance and lifestyle? What would you recommend?
I'd just say get the number one would be get more support around you.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to spend some money on getting that support around you, because it's unbelievable how much extra time you get to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, we were pretty lean in regards to paying money for the first 4 years, and now in the last year, we've really kind of tried to step away from a lot of tasks, and it's been huge, the amount of change. So
Yeah, it's almost like the analogy penny wise, pound foolish, where if you're trying to, look after, the $50 here and there, because you're trying to do work yourself, you're actually costing yourself $250 an hour on the other side, because if someone is doing a $50 an hour job or even $100 an hour job, you guys are worth a couple of $100 to $300 to $400 an hour each. So yeah, the multiplication just it's multiplies big time.
yeah,
What else, mate? What other tips would you give?
get a good database system. Something else that look into programs like ActivePipe and even MailChimps and stuff like that that will manage your database a bit more and send out automatic emails. And again, saying to take away a bit of them jobs that you have to think about, so everything's more on autopilot.
Yeah.
You can just handle the calls coming in rather than trying to think of ways to go and get in touch with these contacts that you've got in your database, and not letting them slip away and just get forgotten about.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect, mate. Any other final sort of tips?
Other one, yeah, just PA's been the biggest thing for me.
Yep.
Get somebody around you that can help and do the tasks.
What about a system and getting a program like Real Estate Brilliance? Has that made a big impact, do you think?
Yeah, it's good to hear other points of view, and especially for us in Melbourne, also hearing points of view of what gets done in another state. Also hearing how they're going, but making the world a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, all your systems work, whether we want to implement them or not straight away. And sometimes you need a few pushes to get it done, but get there eventually.
Well, that's right. So we've had a number of personal coaching sessions, and a lot of us know what we need to do. Because you can't reinvent driving a car. You drive a car the way the car gets driven, or how you're taught to drive a car. Real estate's no different. Yes, there's a lot more variables and it's a bit more complicated, but sometimes you just need to be reminded, and you need to be. One of my clients, Matt Seabrook, he always says to me that he just needed to be pushed off the cliff a couple of times. And I know we've had a couple of times with you where I'm still, trying to push you off the cliff with a couple of things that we want you to let go. So that's awesome, mate. Now, a couple of things more just before you go, because you'd be great to talk to, and you've got great success, and it's really cool to have you. So marketing, how's your marketing changed? How much of the Real Estate Brilliance marketing have you implemented, and is that giving you a return?
So we've implemented slight bits and pieces in regards to the DL drops. There's still improvements that we need to make on that side of it. We've ramped up the amount of DLs going out. So we were around about 5,000 every fortnight. We're sitting around about between 15 to 20,000 every fortnight now.
Amazing.
That'll go out.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I mean, you listed how many properties did you list last month?
18 and a half.
18 and a half. Don't forget the half, mate. You had to share one with a salesperson.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. So this stuff's obviously bloody working, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't fault it to this point. So,
but you're making copious amounts of phone calls as well. Tell us how you built the business. Let's go right back to the beginning again, because I didn't mention that. How did you build your database right in the word go?
Just door knocking. So
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, from the start, and all the sales guys are taught that we deal with, best way to do it is to get out and door knock. And doesn't matter if your listing, somebody else's, another agent's, go door knock around them listings, because if one pops up, normally a few more pop up, because it puts the sales thoughts into people's minds. And just getting out there every day, like I would be out 6 hours a day door knocking at the start, and then as time goes on, and doing that for a good year, and then slowed it down every 6 months, probably drop back another hour each day, and because then I had to get back to concentrating on nurturing the people that were in the database. And then as you go around, people then know who you are, where if they're just getting a letter in the mailbox, they don't know who you are yet. And if they've met you on the door, now suddenly the easiest way for me to explain it is if you go and buy a car, you may not have seen that car on the road too much, but as soon as you buy it, you suddenly see it all the time.
So true.
And I just think it's the same way with once you door knock somebody, and whether you can get some details or you can't get the details at the time, suddenly now when they see your board up around the corner, or they get that letter in the letterbox, suddenly now they're remembering you because they've met you and you had a bit of a conversation with them.
Exactly. And the more repetition you do, and the more consistency that you do with those letterbox, even after time, they actually feel like they have met you because they've seen you in invitations, sold, perhaps area reports or whatever marketing you're doing, and they come up to you at the shopping center and they say, "Oh, hey Ryan, how you going?" And you look at them and you go, "I have no idea who this person is," and they think we know them, but we don't. So it's fascinating. But certainly that door knock is the key to fast tracking that whole familiarity of your letterbox drops, your emails, your signs, your photos, everything else. So absolutely, mate. I'm a huge door knock fan. So and I was pleased to hear that that's how you built your business, and of course, still encourage your salespeople to do that all the time. How big is your database? How many contacts have you got in your database? Yours personally?
I think it sits at about 3,000 now, but that's including a lot of buyers now, because as soon as I put them into my iPad on an open home, they're automatically put into my database now, which again will pay off in years to come.
Of course.
But the ones from the door knocking side, you'd say is maybe about 1,000.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. And that's the key, isn't it, mate? Just that you don't have to cold call ever again with 1,000 contacts. You could make 50 phone calls a week and 100 phone calls a week, and every sort of 6 months you just start again, and you should be able to, in your case, pull 20 listings out of that a month.
Yeah.
So, mate, thank you so much. You've been an awesome. Really appreciate it. our heart goes out to you and our thoughts go out to you with regards to being locked down. Let's hope it gets sorted out as quickly as possible. Can happen to us anytime, like it did a few weeks ago. And we feel your pain, mate, but enjoy the motorbike, enjoy the riding, enjoy time with the kids and family, and keep up the great work, mate. You've been a sensation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. Cheers, mate.
Bye.